Most civilizations announce themselves loudly. They leave walls, monuments, inscriptions meant to be seen from a distance and remembered across time. We tend to assume that what mattered most in the past was built to endure, to rise above its surroundings, to insist on attention. But there are places where the opposite seems to be true, where influence was exercised quietly, spread horizontally, and then slowly disappeared, not through collapse, but through being overlooked. Angkor challenges the belief that significance always leaves obvious traces. If something vast could exist there, functioning for centuries, and still remain partially invisible to modern eyes, then the absence of evidence may not mean absence at all. It may mean we have been trained to look for the wrong kind of presence. Angkor is usually introduced through its temples. Stone towers, carved reliefs, faces frozen in calm symmetry. For many visitors, Angkor Wat and Angkor Thom appear as isolated marvels, impressive but contained, as if they rose from an otherwise empty landscape. The inquiry here does not focus on the beauty of those structures or the kings traditionally associated with them. It focuses on what lay beneath and around them, on the spaces between stone monuments, on the traces that were not meant to be permanent. The period in question spans roughly the 9th to the 15th centuries, when Angkor served as the center of the Khmer world. The mystery is not whether Angkor was important, but how much of it we failed to see, and why it took so long to realize what was missing. For a long time, Angkor was interpreted through a familiar lens. Monumental temples were mapped, catalogued, and compared. Scholars traced dynasties through inscriptions carved into stone. The civilization appeared centralized, temple-focused, and relatively compact. Beyond the main ceremonial zones, the surrounding forest was treated as background, either empty or irrelevant. This interpretation felt reasonable. Stone survives, forest does not. What remained visible became what was studied, and what was studied became what was believed to exist. Yet small inconsistencies persisted. The temples seemed too numerous and too large for the population estimates scholars proposed. The reservoirs and canals that were visible hinted at a scale of organization that did not match the idea of a modest urban core. There were signs of coordination and maintenance that suggested something more extensive, but these signs were fragmented. They did not cohere into a clear alternative picture. The pattern was incomplete, and so it was often set aside. The first shift did not come from new texts or dramatic discoveries on the ground. It came from above. Aerial photography and later LiDAR scanning began to reveal faint geometries beneath the forest canopy, straight lines where nature rarely makes them, rectangular patterns repeating at irregular intervals, subtle elevations and depressions that aligned too neatly to be accidental. These were not temples. They were traces of habitation, roads, canals, and fields, evidence of a low-density urban landscape spread over hundreds of square kilometers. What emerged was not a hidden city in the conventional sense, but a dispersed system. Houses made of wood and organic materials, infrastructure integrated with water management and agriculture, a civilization designed to blend with its environment rather than dominate it visually. Its core was monumental, but its life was elsewhere, woven into the land itself. This was the civilization beneath Angkor, not buried by catastrophe, but concealed by growth, decay, and assumption. This realization introduced tension. If Angkor was not a compact city, but an expansive, engineered landscape, then its disappearance needed to be reconsidered as well. A stone city collapsing is one story. A distributed system slowly losing coherence is another. The latter leaves fewer dramatic ruins. It erodes quietly. Maintenance falters. Channels silt up. Fields change use. People adapt incrementally. From the outside, it can look like nothing happened at all. The mystery deepens when considering intention. This civilization did not fail to build in stone. It chose where stone mattered and where it did not. The everyday structures that sustained most people were never meant to last for centuries. They were rebuilt, adjusted, replaced. Their impermanence was not a flaw, but a feature. Over time, this design choice created an uneven historical record. What was meant to endure did. What was meant to function disappeared as designed. This unevenness shaped belief. Later observers inherited a landscape where only certain elements spoke. Temples told one story. Silence surrounded them. That silence was interpreted as emptiness, not as loss. The forest was seen as reclaiming a fallen civilization, rather than covering the traces of one that had always lived lightly on the surface. There is also the question of recognition. Early European explorers did not lack curiosity, but they brought expectations. Civilization, as they understood it, clustered tightly. It announced itself through stone streets, permanent housing, and dense urban cores. Angkor did not fit neatly into this framework. Its scale was horizontal rather than vertical. Its complexity was infrastructural rather than architectural. Without the tools to detect subtle patterns at scale, much of it remained conceptually invisible. Even after technological advances revealed the broader system, interpretation lagged. Acknowledging the full extent of Angkor meant accepting that a major civilization could operate on principles different from those used as historical benchmarks. It meant recognizing that complexity does not always manifest as density, and that absence in the archaeological record can be an artifact of design rather than decay. This reframing carries consequences. It complicates narratives of rise and fall. If Angkor functioned as an integrated landscape, then its decline may not have been a single event or even a clear sequence. It may have been a gradual loosening of connections. Climate variability, changes in water flow, local adaptations, each adjustment rational in isolation. Together, they altered the system until it no longer resembled what it had been. The temples remained. The pattern beneath them changed. At this point, the inquiry turns inward. If a civilization of such scale could exist largely unnoticed for so long, not because it was hidden, but because it did not conform to expectation, what else might be missing from our understanding of the past? How often do we equate visibility with importance, permanence with meaning, and silence with absence? And how much of what we think we know rests on what survives rather than on what once sustained life? There is restraint required here. The mystery is not an invitation to romanticize what was lost or to claim complete understanding of what lay beneath Angkor. Many details remain uncertain. Patterns are still being mapped. Interpretations will continue to shift. What matters is the adjustment in perception, a recognition that history is shaped not only by what is discovered, but by what is looked for. In the end, Angkor stands as both presence and question. Stone towers endure, offering continuity. Beneath them, faint traces suggest a civilization that chose impermanence for much of its structure. Its near invisibility was not accidental, but the result of how it lived and how it built. The mystery is not fully resolved, and perhaps it cannot be. It lingers in the tension between what survives and what fades, reminding us that meaning does not always announce itself, and that some of the largest patterns in human history remain just beyond the limits of easy recognition. Join us on Timeless Questions, where ancient stories, enduring ideas, and human nature meet in quiet reflection.